Part of the idea behind this design is if you like, sort of stealth or disguise. So having sort of dug out the hillside and slipped the house in there and then put all the soil back, we now need to build up the dry stone wall, behind which sits the wildflower meadow on the roof and the allotment sort of area, the growing area. So it's built using the local ironstone, which is wonderful because it has these kind of seams of iron ore in them, which is where it gets this colour. And also why we have a railway bridge here, why there was the brewery, because there was quite a lot of people working in an iron ore smelter. So there's a real kind of connection here that we're trying to bring out with the choice of stone and the use of the rusted steel elsewhere in the building. So the wall is really important, and that when you have very few elements in a project, those elements have to be absolutely right because they become so dominant. And this has been a labour of love. I think there's about 4 or 5 guys working in and around it. It's been a long process of building up a blockwork inner wall, and then, you know, various kind of little stub walls underneath the ground level, and then coming up in the ironstone, which sort of comes as in a bag, as a kind of rough variation of thicknesses, coarse thicknesses and sizes, and they have to chop that, axe that down, and sort of get them to beautifully match in, because the whole look is to have very limited joints. So it's sort of to look a bit dry stone wall-esque, if you like, but there is actually a mark and infill there to give it strength and stability. When we did the test panel, we had a sort of variation of coursing, which meant that we ended up with some larger courses further up the wall, and we sort of decided that looked a bit top heavy and a bit wrong. Whereas traditionally on a wall you would have diminishing courses, i.e. you start with the biggest course at the bottom and they get smaller as they run to the top. And so we've sort of integrated that into this wall. And as you can see, as we then start stepping down the hillside this way, we're sort of bringing those narrower courses down and cascading them down. And I think when we've put the soil back up here, which will come through kind of level, the common will sort of run straight back into the back of the wall there, but it's just going to start really looking a bit like a dry stone wall that you might get on the edge of a field. And crucial to that is the capping. And we're actually going to just do a very simple concrete capping, which will just roll over the top like that, which is exactly what you get in kind of agricultural farmers' dry stone walls in this part of the world. So, you know, location's important because it defines the stone that you use, but then also it's about trying to work with the ways that things have been done traditionally, especially when you're referencing that past, which is very much the idea behind this building and certainly this rear wall. What's lovely about it is that when the stones come, they're very wet, and when they're wet they're much darker, and so it looks quite uniform and a bit heavy. But as it starts to dry, once you get it up into the wall and the moisture starts to come out of it, incredible colours start to kind of pop out. There's a grey you get a grey ironstone and you get the brown ironstone, and within that you start getting these incredible bits of kind of formation, a little bit of crystal here, incredible bit of iron ore there, lovely shapes, kind of beautiful little bits of red inside it. And as it dries, it just seems to get better and better, more and more colour.